What's up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over a few things that you can do to either increase your collection in terms of the quality, or if you're looking to increase the quantity of fragrances that you own. In this video, I'm going to go over a few things that you can either add to your collection or take away from your collection. This video is for anyone that's wanting to either start a collection, or if you already have one and you want to kind of revamp it and make it a little better, this one's for you. Alright, so first tip on this list is going to be having something cheaper or affordable that you can wear out of the shower. Something kind of like Nautica Voyage. Something that you can put on when you're fresh out of the shower. You can just spray heavy. Now the thing about Nautica Voyage is that it does perform well, it does last, and it's a very clean, nice scent. But the fresh out of the shower fragrances kind of tend to have a pretty big blanket. You have things like Nautica Voyage, This Thing by Marc Ecko, a bunch of Bath & Body Works fragrances, and sometimes you can even use things like this Mercedes-Benz fragrance. All in all, we need a fragrance for like when we get out of the shower that's not going to be something super loud projecting, something that just makes it smell nice outside of our body wash or our soap. And again, guys, that first one was Nautica Voyage. And next, what we're going to go over will be implementing and adding a higher quality fragrance to your collection. So if you've started out with something like Nautica Voyage and you want something that's a higher quality, something that is going to be something that's going to last longer, possibly, a designer house that I'll definitely recommend checking out would be Chanel. For example, what I have here is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. As you guys can see here, it is the Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Now this can be used as an out of shower kind of fragrance. It's not one that I would recommend putting on out of the shower because it is pretty expensive, but it's definitely one that I would say has a very high quality to it while still being a designer and not a niche. This one in particular is pretty expensive. If you're gonna have a collection of designers, you're gonna want things that have higher qualities. You can find a lot of cheaper things at like TJ Maxx. You can find a lot of the Nautica Voyages. You can find some discontinued gems at places like TJ Maxx, but a lot of the times you're gonna want to go to some place like a local retailer, Dillard's online. I have a guide to buying online on my channel, but one that I would highly recommend checking out would be the Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Some do prefer the other concentrations of this. If you don't know what Parfum means, I'll go over that in a different video. But again, guys, that is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Next is going to be for those that have already had a collection for a while, that are just wanting to expand, possibly out of the designer realm. They want to start getting more into niche. One of the first things that you'll see whenever it comes to buying a niche initially are that the bottles can be super cool and super attractive. For example, what I have here is Kajal Homme. Just so you can see this bottle here, you have a nice little copper plaque up front, real dark juice there. We got a plaque here on the bottom again. Like, isn't that a cool top there? I'm not really sure if this is meant to be like, so I know that Kajal likes to have some sort of flower up top to kind of represent their fragrance. This fragrance in particular is a very nice fragrance. It's one of the best atomizers I've seen. It reminds me a lot of the Dior atomizer. They're amazing. I mean, there's so much craftsmanship that went into this. But what this fragrance reminds me of, it reminds me of L'Homme L'Intense by YSL. What I see Kajal Homme is basically a more wearable, more signature scent worthy fragrance over the YSL L'Homme L'Intense, which y'all at one point, I mean not long ago at all, I was a guy that only wore Dior Sauvage or Aqua de Gel, and now I catch myself throwing this on, you know, once, twice a week, just because I enjoy the scent. And when you're showing off your collection and you can pull something out like this is much more impressive than being able to say that you picked up some summer release that comes out every year. And it is just the coolest looking bottle, guys. And always be sure that you're very careful with your niche bottles. I would never, for example, I would never take this one outside. But yeah, no, this is one that I would definitely keep inside. Last thing you want to do is risk this getting dropped. I mean, not only would it, if it dropped, it would be lost, but it would also fall on your foot. This thing right here would cause some damage here. And again, guys, that is Kajal Homme. Next is going to be for those of you that are already in the niche world, that are moved past the designers and strictly on to niche fragrances. And hopefully you're not to the point where you're like, no, Sauvage, pass, hard pass. Because me, I'm still like, banger. But for those of us who are on a modest budget for things like fragrances, if you must have niche fragrances versus a designer, I would suggest getting a fragrance that could be a signature scent. If you must have two, I would recommend having one for warmer weather and one for colder weather. For example, for me, for warmer weather, something like Xerjoff Renaissance. And for colder weather, something like Xerjoff Naxos. There's gonna be a citrus heavy mint fragrance. There's gonna be a tobacco honey. Either one can be worn year round. If you were to split them into seasons, it might be a little better. For example, this could be your summer fragrance. This could be your winter fragrance. Both are very high quality. And if you're wanting to go the route of niche, these are two that are pretty safe. And lastly is gonna be having a signature scent. And this is gonna be more or less for the people that need a signature scent, could have possibly have owned a few fragrances at this point, might even have 2 or 3 in your collection. If you're anything like me, I do have fragrances that I tend to wear more than others and kind of use certain fragrances as for situational purposes, whether it be going out, whether it be for dinner. But I do have certain ones that I do wear to work or that I do wear when I'm around the house, things that are uplifting that I just enjoy the scent of. 2 fragrances that I could say would probably be signature scent worthy would be something like Zahar's Signature Pour Homme and Creed Aventis. Now guys, just take a look at this bottle here. It's definitely a very calming one that makes you want to just kind of sit down and hang out. But at the same time, it's kind of energetic, you know what I mean? It's uplifting, it makes you want to go do stuff. Again guys, that is Zahar's Signature Pour Homme. Leads me to Creed Aventis, which is the top selling niche fragrance of all time. If you're a collector, you've probably smelled this. And if you're fresh into fragrances, you've probably Googled this, you've probably seen it on some Google searches, and you probably inquired about it and probably saw that it costs an arm and a leg for a new bottle, at least retail. In the Facebook groups, the gray market is a little different. You can probably get a little cheaper, but even online, getting this precious little cap can be pretty expensive. And once you find your signature scent, from there, it's just buying what you know, what you enjoy. From there, you can kind of branch out and find fragrances with the same DNA that you might enjoy. But guys, I really hope you have enjoyed. Man, it smells so good. I'm sorry, if you don't like Creed Aventis, maybe you worn it too much and you got too used to it, or maybe you smelled one too many clones and not actually the real thing. That is enjoyable. That is a very enjoyable scent. But y'all, I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you leave me a like down below and comment and say hello. Guys, until next time, like I always say, keep it gent and love your scent, and I will see you all next time.